Humans, delighted welcome. I'm told that I'm really easy, and this is APGamingREAL. This is the 22nd episode of Warhammer 40K, Wrath&Glory, Dark Inquisition. My lighting system tonight is still in the same place it was for Battletech, so I'm like blue shaded, gray tinted. Gonna take a look at it this weekend, pull it apart, figure out what's going wrong.
Possibly
Who told you were easy?
Everyone has told me that.
Wait, you're easy?
Some have said too easy.
When?
Too easy. I gotta tell you, it was really weird to see the Battletech chat episode be so well received. So I have to tell you, depending on how events go tonight, the second half of the show might just be Warhammer chat, or we might wrap up early. I'm about to let you in on GM secrets. I could arrange events to make the finale of the show whatever I want it to be, but I'm not going to, even though it would make my life so much easier. I'm going to let the players choose what path without forcing them or railroading them down a particular direction, despite, again, that it would make things so much easier. As a result, I don't have the finale of this show prepared because I don't want to make 4 or 5 different ending scenarios. I just want to make one. I want to make one.
Be careful of that. Remember what you told me about Battletech.
Oh.
What did they tell you about Battletech? What's the secret sauce?
Sid,
give it to
we're
us.
not even going to talk
with
about
one line
Okeanos.
of dialogue, I apparently derailed 2 years worth of preparation.
Okeanos. Sid Alpha, Okeanos.
That's
Let me tell you about some real motherfucking shit there. At the last minute, I think EQ was just like, well, what if this is true? And I'm like, fucking son of a bitch. How did he come to that fucking conclusion? It's actually correct. But he didn't have enough information. It was just a pure guess, no logic, and that was true. It was true, and it hurt me.
It was definitely a shoot the cook moment, that's for sure.
What thing
Yeah.
did Skip apparently skip as far as dialogue?
I'm not. If I tell you, it would be odd. I can't tell you. That's
Okay.
why.
No, I
It would be
didn't skip.
spoilers
I
to tell
just
you.
gave an apparently unanticipated response and ruined things.
If I told you, it would spoil everything, and in all likelihood, once the moment has passed, I could go back and say something about it, and you'd be like, I don't even remember when that happened.
So Arthur, here's what you do. You go and create a brand new premium tier on Patreon where you the only benefit is that you tell them what Sid did.
Listen,
the $50 a month.
there's at least one person
get
who's
premium access.
There's one viewer who's got me on the line for Burning Crowns. And what was the show that I did that was a 5e? And Service to Our Lord. They wanted to know all the background stuff that was going on in it so that they could write novels set in those universes. Lycus, of course, took all of my Okeanos prep and is making his own Okeanos game. So, maybe I do need to have a tier for people can ask me waffo questions about stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah, $50 and up.
You know what's gonna pay for that?
Oh, trust me.
Only people who are already paying for that kind of stuff are gonna pay for that. No one's gonna pay to just get that.
People will pay for the unfettered information access. They will. They absolutely will.
Gosh,
I guarantee it.
Every time I move slightly forward or back, my lighting system is a disaster today. I don't know where we're at. Everybody but James is apparently having a bad day here. So if random civilians die and then someone just says blame heresy, don't be surprised.
That is a very strong likelihood.
All right, I walk up to the street and pull out my heavy flamer and just kill a family. Not care.
All you have to do is justify it to everyone higher in command in the chain in the Inquisition than you. That's all you gotta do.
The Valkyrie just lands in the middle of the street, and people are like, what is that noise? And the hatch opens. All you hear is, my idea of fun is killing everyone by Geek Pop and the Stooges, and people just start running for cover.
I heard that family say Zinch. Those guys over there said Zinch.
They didn't say it, but they said it.
I thought I saw them as a gene stealer. I saw signs, so I acted.
That child was eating a lollipop that was not approved colors.
He's
Obvious
talking mad shit about Sanguinius, so we just had to put him down.
That family was eating rations that was made from this spot that
They put
was
rat
obviously
dust
being
on
messed
their
with
Emperor's
gene
Mercy
stealers.
bars.
We can go all day with these excuses.
I mean, and they're all still probably not as bad.
I gotta tell you, if you were a total sociopath in the Warhammer 40K universe, and you somehow formulated a question to which the only answer was zinc, and then you just shot people when you were like, they said zinch, I had to do it. It was heresy.
Arthur, yeah, are you doubting my sociopathic PC character capabilities?
I would literally never do that, Sid.
There's a
Ever since you had to carry a rock naked across open snowscapes, I knew there was no depth you would never dive to.
Hey, so I know that Arthur doesn't use Facebook, but for the rest of the world, you know how there's that feature in Facebook where whenever there's a disaster, you can mark yourself safe from that disaster?
Yeah.
No, because nobody uses Facebook ever.
I think a lot of people use Facebook, unfortunately.
They shouldn't.
My favorite thing this week has been my friends marking themselves safe from the Space Marine FAQ.
Oh God, let's not talk about that.
Oh wow, incredible. All right, I guess all I have to say is an update since Thursday are two things. One is that I always forget the name of this game. Literally been out for like 4 days.
It's Warhammer 40K.
No, it's Max Gentleman Sexy Business. Let me tell you something.
Oh, is
I was back
Jesse,
and forth on the game.
Jesse Cox's game?
Yeah, it's basic. The voice acting is pretty good. The writing is incredible. But let me tell you something. I beat the game, and then the game goes, this is a fully released game, but we're not finished with the finale yet. We will release it as part of a DLC, but feel free to keep playing on repeat mode. And I exploded in rage. I literally went through the ceiling of my basement, out the first floor, into the lower atmosphere, and had to deploy my squirrel wingsuit to land safely. Because who releases a full game without the fucking ending? It's not a full game without the ending to the game.
They're actually releasing the true ending for the game as a fucking DLC.
It's not even true ending. You just get to the end, and they're like, okay, game over. The DLC will be out with the ending. It's all story. You don't make any useful choices. That's it.
There's gonna be a fucking dirty devs coming out on this shit.
Listen,
next
Sid,
week.
if you dirty devs it, I want you to talk about how good the voice acting and the storyline is before you slaughter them for this fucking heresy.
I will.
Now,
I will
do you have
that.
to buy the DLC?
No, I think it's gonna be free. They didn't mention.
Oh well, that's.
I think it's a free DLC.
Not,
if they were charging for it, then yeah, they would definitely qualify for it. But if it's free DLC, then no, that's an update at that point.
That's almost
with the ending of the game, Sid.
Hold on. Well, that's still a bit misleading because they're basically, even if they're giving away as free DLC for the actual ending, they're basically putting out an early access game, not advertising it as early access, and then just releasing the finished components of the game as DLC. That's very, very.
But
misleading.
it sounds like they've gone. It's like, oh, this is 1.0, but what the ending in later? Because like when something leaves early access, it's supposed to be, oh no, it's finished, and then whatever.
I'm going to be doing some investigating on this stuff. What was the name of that game again?
Oh Jesus, I don't remember.
I can just search Jesse
Max Gentleman Sexy
game.
Business. I've literally had to talk about this game like 8 times, and I've never gotten the name right if I'm not looking at it. I'm like Max Tycoon Sexy something. All right. So number 2 is I'm watching anime again, and it's great. That's it. Oh no, what do you got?
I have the Steam page open. I'll be investigating this stuff.
Okay.
I've got nothing.
All right, you got nothing. You want to tell us about yourself and maybe Hunters of Ulverin, your D&D 5e Gestalt game set in a Witcher-type universe, Sunday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern?
Yes, Panda, why don't you tell him about this game? It's very good.
I'll explain more at the end.
What the baby?
You'll explain more at the end?
Yeah, at the end of the show.
It's
What?
called foreshadowing, Arthur.
Oh my god.
I am in this game. It is good. We are getting to main story parts.
Okay, good. Atomic, we're going to go to your intro, and you tell me about how you feel about Hunters of Ulver in a D&D 5e stream Sunday nights at 8 p.m. set in a Witcher-type universe using Gestalt 5e.
Yeah, and you know, because Cotton's involved, naturally we spent like an hour and a half talking about horses.
I recall.
Yeah.
Good time.
And Pondo was just
Nothing
giving
wrong with
me
that.
Pondo was just giving me the somebody just slit my throat eyes.
Pondo
because
should
I
have
could
just
see it.
submitted and been talking about that Rowan, the chestnut of the coloration.
And
you know, the way that the main of it goes perfectly back.
I told
the big
Pondo,
dark eyes. Yeah.
I told Pondo that Cotton is just like an ex, like my ex, where as soon as you mention an animal, species, colors, like just every permutation of this animal, I should say just I asked him, I was like, oh, is it like Red Dead, you know, where there's like a million different options? That's all you got to say. Just pick one. He goes, no, it's a brown this. I'm like, oh, you done fucked up. You done fucked
see, I knew this information, but I
was like, brown horse, that's cool.
in my head.
Because I just don't care. But yeah, no, it was yeah. He just stared into the screen for a good 45 seconds, and I was like, yeah, no. That moment where you realize it's like, oh, did I fuck up? Yeah, I fucked up. No, it's good. I mean, it's, you know, kind of getting everybody together and getting, you know, characters known to each other and so forth and so on. And we're starting to get into, I think actually tomorrow we should be getting into some good main story stuff. So yeah, it's pretty cool. You should stop by and check it out.
Okay. Got anything else?
Well, James would be proud of me. I only bought one model before finishing my Skitarii. Granted, it was a Knight Preceptor, but it still counts as one. It still counts as one.
When you say finished, you mean fully painted or assembled?
They are. I just got to do detail work. I've got base coats down, and then first wash, and so I just got to finish them up really. And then I got to do like, you know, plasma effects and that sort of stuff. But they're getting there. They're way faster to deal with than Astartes are, for sure. Plus the assembly time is just because they're only like 4 pieces each, so they're pretty quick to put together. So, but that's pretty much it. Let's see, what else did I do this week? Not a whole lot. I've just been super tired because I don't sleep anymore. It's not fun. But that's pretty much it.
I don't know. Coin flip whether I want to go to Sid Alpha or Grimdark. I'm going to go to James for now. We'll come back to Sid. James,
All right.
what do you got?
I'm Grimdark James of the Grimdark Podcast. I've had a pretty active day today. Actually, I've been out for a bike ride this morning. Did 6 miles on my bike, which is pretty good. So I'm feeling pretty healthy and fit. Just got a kill team campaign started this week with friends. We didn't start the campaign yet. We've been doing some practice games. We want to learn the rules on their teams, and then we're going to record our campaign and throw it up on YouTube as well. Do a bit of battle report stuff, which also means finishing some painting. So maybe I should play Necron so I can just spray and then ink, and then let's call it a painted army. But
Some of that metal paint, spray paint you get from the store, and like, that's good.
Yeah, could you recommend me to a brand? You do
Tell you what, James, you could probably just coat them in Iron Warriors. It's like Nolan oil built right in, my dude. Just cut a step.
But yeah, that's been pretty much my week since BattleTech, or since the BattleTech chat. Not much else going on in my life, man. I'm getting ready to travel this week.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's to a resort island in the middle of the Great Barrier Reef. So
I'm about to drop some real shit on you, James. You ready for this?
I'm ready. Do it.
The BattleTech chat episode is more popular than a comparative episode of actual BattleTech. It's got about 20% more viewership than one would expect of a BattleTech episode 24 hours later. 48
Did you
hours
put
later.
the tag podcast to it?
Honestly, given how popular some of the just chatting stuff that people do, where they're just hanging out, just shooting the shit, it does not surprise me at all.
I don't know.
So
I created Discord just so that I would have someone to talk to shitty anime facts and later FGO facts about. And now it turns out people just like listening to us talk about random shit. Disney movies, basically.
That's why 90% of people make podcasts. So because people listen to the random shit.
Yeah, that's very true.
Well, I'll tell you what, James. You say you're feeling fit and healthy today. Today's the first time in like 6 months that I've had a pizza, and I'm feeling awful, but it was so good. I've been feeling too healthy lately.
Oh, that's. Can I just say though that you should take that BattleTech episode from Thursday, turn it into an MP3 file, put it on iTunes, and you've still got a month there to submit it to the EN Awards for an Ennie.
No,
it's a gaming podcast.
No,
come on.
No.
Just use the tagline, we occasionally talk about video games.
I mean, it has probably has too much game talk to actually, count as a gaming podcast. Because the ones that always win those things are always the ones where it's like they talked about a game once like 3 months ago.
Well, can I tell you my bitterness towards the EN Awards? I probably shouldn't because, I still get rated for it occasionally. But the first year my podcast was nominated for an Ennie, what pipped me was a podcast called The Signal that was actually this is just after Numenera had come out. And this podcast is like 1 or 2 minute episodes of somebody making up like radio broadcasts happening in the data sphere in the Numenera setting as such, and just putting up these sort of 1 or 2 minute sound bites. And whereas at that point in time, I was putting out 26 2-hour shows a year. And I felt that when it comes, because any voting is always done by the public. And so I could see the point where people might not even listen to a particular property, but go, oh, I like Numenera. I will, tick the box that says, it's like anything that's Pathfinder, always does well because it's Pathfinder. Even if I don't listen to it or consume it, it must be good because it's Pathfinder. Likewise, that particular year, Numenera was the new hotness. And so, yeah, it was up in so many categories and people just voted for it because it's Numenera. But I'm not bitter, not at all. I don't carry that.
Listen, James, I wanna. Let's assume that you're the setter in volleyball. I want to go ahead and slam dunk Numenera real quick. One of the developers of Numenera insulted me publicly on Twitter after I said, Numenera, not so great. Shannon Germain still will not pronounce my name Arthur. She continues to call me Anthony, so fuck Numenera. And number 2, who makes a D20 system where you divide by 3? It doesn't divide into 20. Nonsense. It's fucking nonsense. And it's yet again another Monty Cook game where they're like, what's more powerful than a fighter? A wizard. So you know what? Fighters suck and wizards are great. We're also going to make a fighter wizard character who's more powerful than a fighter but not as strong as a wizard. These are the only 3 classes you get to play. Wizard, wizard fighter, and fighter. That's the tier system.
I've had a Numenera game going now for about 2.5 years that we're enjoying only because we don't take it seriously. The game is a parody of itself. So
they're like, it would be useful, an item that releases a 5-foot cube of fire-resistant foam. That is a worthwhile quest reward. And the one time you need a 5-foot cube of fire-resistant, you're like, well, all I have is this controller that allows me to travel 6 seconds back in a time, and like a fucking disco ball that also swaps people's bodies. I don't have a 5-foot cube of fire-resistant foam. It's so weird. Who would ever think you need one of those?
Well, Arthur, if it makes you feel any better, I have more followers on Twitter than Shannon Germain, and my fandom wiki article is much more complete than hers, even though I had nothing to do with mine.
It's because you're an actual person.
I have to tell you, Sid, all that means is that you have many more followers than I do. Not that I'm glad of your success. Saying, I celebrate your success, sir, but just because you're better than Shannon Germain does not make me feel like Shannon Germain is any less of a person. No, she's less of a person because she called me Anthony. and she can.
If you need me to investigate this, I probably could.
No, there's nothing to investigate. She called me Anthony.
That's it.
Yes.
Or did she persist in calling you Anthony?
Yes, she has persisted in calling me Anthony.
Okay. Well, then she's just a bad person.
I think she's just being defensive about a game that she spent years working on.
That's
a game
fair.
that's not very good.
I'll take a look.
Well, I mean, if you spent years making a game that's shit, it's still a game that you spent years making shit.
That's very true.
You know what they call that? You call that you need a laxative. You just need to get it out of the system.
Pondo the Mad coming out here with some real talk.
Wow, spitting fire.
He is
I'm having a
upset
day
today. Yeah, I could tell.
I'm enjoying this. I'm not gonna lie.
I feel like when Pondo puts his glasses on, it's like a reverse Clark Kent.
New glasses.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to keep glare, but
it is not working at all.
Well, it's actually better than what it would be.
Are those blue light filter glasses or?
No, it's just glare resistant lenses, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's mainly the glares from my lights pointing at me that are blinding me at every single moment.
Yeah, that's why for years I always I've been wearing glasses since the first grade. You know, I just want to get LASIK already. I'm tired. I'm over it. But I had to start getting blue light filters on mine for my eye fatigue. It's just off the charts with
That's what these are.
4 monitors.
That's what these are. Blue light filter glasses.
Someone said it was like, "What have you considered not having 4 monitors?" I was like, "Have you considered jumping off a cliff?"
I mean, I'm a little jealous. I only have 3 monitors. I wish I had.
This desk supports 6. But
I've just gone back to 2 monitors. I was late today because I was setting up my second monitor for the first time in years.
my thing is like, I had the one for forever back in the CRT days, and then we got lucky back when LCDs first really became a thing. Where my dad, he used to work at one of the big switch centers for T-Mobile, and they got rid of a bunch of their like 23-inch Sun Microsystems CRTs. 23-inch CRT. These things weighed like 65 pounds a piece.
I was gonna say that's like those things are so.
Yeah, they were massive, but they were free. So 23-inch CRT when you're a poor, I guess at this time lower middle class white kid. Sure, I'll take it. Whatever, right?
Oh yeah.
And the key word, free. There's like, you got to pick them up, and we had a truck. It's like, whatever. Well, those broke a desk, and then I had a shitty desk, and then when I upgraded to nicer monitors, I bought this fucking cockpit desk that can hold like 6. But I think I'm going to replace it with probably the bottom 3 of these with like a really big ultra wide. So I'll send you some, Sid. How about that?
Excellent.
I'll have plenty.
Okay. Sid, let's do your intro. Saving the best for last, or at least the one with the most viewership for last.
Definitely not the best, but I'll go with the most viewership.
You know what, Sid? Why don't you just say who you think the best is on this show then?
Probably James, actually.
James's credit to team.
James's credit
deep,
to
man.
team.
That cuts real deep.
You'll get over it.
No, James has all the book knowledge, so I can understand.
He does, yeah.
It's kind of like.
I mean, in all actuality, Pondo, I probably know you and Arthur the best, but James does have that book knowledge that he brings that you and I both lack. So
I mean, my name is in the book, so
that's very, very true.
All right,
hello.
Don't need to show off now.
I am Sid Alpha. I am here. I was here on Thursday night for the BattleTech podcast, as it were. That was actually a lot of fun. I rather enjoyed that. It's been an interesting past 48 hours from 40 hours for me.
44. Yeah.
44. One thing I did do, I did actually manage to get audio recorded and edited this morning for a video that will probably be coming out tomorrow morning, talking about CD Projekt Red's new refund policy for GOG.com, which is fantastic, by the way. If anyone hasn't heard, GOG is now offering refunds 30 days after purchase, regardless of the amount of time played. It's brilliant. It really is. And I decided to do a video on it first to help spread awareness that that's a thing that exists, because GOG is already a DRM free platform, which is, again, awesome. But also because a lot of rather special developers have been spurging out about it and getting very upset that this refund policy is coming into existence. And I was sitting there reading the things that a lot of developers have been saying about GOG's new refund policy, and I was like, hang on, didn't you say the exact same damn thing like 5 years ago when Steam implemented their refund policy with a 2-hour play time or 14 days purchase? I think you did. And a lot of them actually did say very, very similar things. And it was all, unfounded histrionics. And a lot of it was basically it improved things for both gamers and game developers, having that refund policy in place. So check out my video will be coming out tomorrow morning. Make sure you check it out, because I discuss a lot of the reasons behind that and how that is actually a good thing for developers and gamers alike. And at the end of the day, gamers are what matter, and GOG's refund policy is awesome.
One of my favorite things, Sid, just to butt it on your point here, as I do with everybody because I can't shut my fucking mouth.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite things is a lot of the companies that are freaking out are like, well, people could take advantage of it. It's like, maybe, if you didn't spite literally every single person in existence, you might not have to fucking worry about that.
Well, I thought about that too. I was like, hang on, GOG is a DRM free platform already, right?
Yeah.
So most of the people that would take advantage of this would already be torrenting these damn games anyways, because they're on GOG, they're DRM free, which makes them insanely easy to pirate. You literally just copy the game files and then upload them to it and post them on a torrenting site, and boom, you're done. And the other thing is, like, they're getting very upset about the 30 days and stuff. It's like, hang on, the people that are going to be taking advantage of this aren't going to be waiting 29 days and then refunding the game. No, they're going to be buying it, downloading and installing it, and then issuing a refund. That's exactly what they're going to be doing. The amount of people that are going to be waiting for 29 days to see whether or not they get a refund to take advantage of the system is going to be so minuscule that it won't even be 1/10 of a percentile of 1%.
Whenever you implement any system, there's always going to be people that try and game that system. But at the end of the day,
there's no system in existence that won't be taken advantage of by some people. Obviously.
It's always been shown to be more successful in the long run to incentivize the right behavior than to disincentivize the wrong behavior.
Absolutely.
That's always a big thing.
Plus, having a robust refund policy like this, I know I'm going off, but having a robust refund policy like this helps incentivize gamers to actually buy the games and take a look at them, because they feel protected. And, they will be more willing to take that leap. And if it's just a shit game, if it's broken and stuff like that, then yeah, you're going to eat a refund. But if you make a good quality game, if you're making a solid game, then people are going to keep it.
And it also puts impetus behind developers for, okay, everybody kind of understands when a game comes out, shit's going to be broken. Some stuff, there's always something's going to, whatever, fix your shit. If it's still, you've got major problems, like game breaking problems, like big pain in the ass ones that, if you didn't have a handle on it, like, it's going to come back to, it's going to, at the very least, make you look bad. At worst, you're going to eat some cost, right? So it's like, it kind of could give them a kick, kick in the ass as well. Because there have been some games that have had those problems.
Absolutely. I mean, this, the not having the playtime limit will affect indie devs more than anyone else, but it also helps gamers because of AAA games and large games. Like take Assassin's Creed, where, 10 hours in, you're still learning new components to the game. Where on Steam, you're well past that refund opportunity. And, with a larger game like that on GOG, you still have that option. It's like, yeah, this is actually kind of shit. And it's not working right. It's broken.
Do indie developers go to GOG though as a way of distributing their platform normally?
More and more are starting to.
More and more are starting to. A lot already do. It's more indie game studios, indie game teams, more than individuals, more than anything else. But GOG is a lot more curated than Steam, so you don't have all of the asset flips and things like that Steam has.
Yeah, I've always looked at GOG as a place to go when I would have gone to like abandonware places before to get old games. I don't really go looking there for new content, to be honest.
No, they do have a lot of newer games and stuff. You say they're owned by CD Projekt Red.
Yeah,
they have.
I know. I think at least 3 that I know of. 4. I never checked back. I know at least 3 people who couldn't have they pirated Witcher 3 and then went back like I don't know a month later and actually just bought it on GOG because like this is a damn good game.
A lot of people do that. A lot of people do that. They actually use the pirated game as a try before you buy. A lot of people do that.
Yeah, it's just I mean they were never gonna people who do it are never gonna buy it anyway. It's essentially free advertising at that point. I mean, I know of at least 3 people who've done it, and if I know 3, there's no telling how many obviously how many other people have done it. So good for them.
So yeah, GOG did something that was phenomenally pro-consumer, and I'm excited to see what happens with it.
Hopefully, the market response.
Yep. So that's my video that I was working on today, and I was discussing before the stream that a simple, stupid little audio editing tool managed to cut my editing time to 1/3 of what it once was, but I still have to do all the video editing and stuff.
Jesus, it'd be one thing if it's like, oh yeah, it cuts like a little bit. God, I mean,
it's like no, it's 2/3 of the time gone.
Jesus, that's. I hope you're kicking yourself in the ass for that one.
Oh, extremely. I've been kicking. This is like because I learned about it like 2 weeks ago, and man. Like especially editing the Day of Dragons videos and stuff, doing the audio editing. If I had known about this, oh my God.
So did you, after you realized it, did you sit there and think, okay, I've done roughly this many videos and if I spend this much time, say on average per video editing, did you go back and think about how much time it actually would have saved you?
Yep. I ran a test. I did like a 2-minute recording and then I ran through it and stuff. And, like 8 minutes of video typically takes me about an hour to 2 hours to edit just the audio. And about like today's 10-minute video took me roughly 30 minutes to edit.
An audience, if you want to know what Sid's secret is, join Arthur's new ultra premium
That's
Patreon.
Right, $50 and up, and I'll let you know the secret to being able to quickly and effectively edit your audio. I'll even do a special video for Arthur.
Going right up there with
$50
APGamingREAL After Dark Premium XXX content, where we talk about all the XXX movies.
Now, it was so frustrating when I learned about that and learned how just stupid simple it is. I have to get up, walk away, and I went and I walked around my entire block, which is about 5.5 miles, just to be able to clear my head.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I was so frustrated with myself.
The big one of those things.
But now that I know, and learning is half the battle, so I'll be able to greatly reduce the amount of time it takes to record and edit videos in the future.
Hot mech on mech action. Haven't I already denounced the hot mech on? That was the worst part. Well, okay. Listen, Mech Warriors Dark Ages line for BattleTech, there were some good parts, and there were some truly colossally terrible parts.
Mm-hmm.
The detective novel was really bad. The Seven Samurai remake was okay. It was like, what if Seven Samurai was a bunch of Irish people on a mech planet, and their primary form of attacking the enemy was drawing them near, what are they called, corn silos, and then blowing up the corn silos so that everyone would be covered in popcorn. Violent floods of popcorn. When I think BattleTech, that is not my primary...
Popcorn shrapnel.
Yeah, but the mech sex on Terra during the second invasion of Terra, where they're overheating mechs tumbled down the hill, one over the other, during the rainstorm, and I was like...
What?
Okay.
Oh, speaking of BattleTech, no true desire to hijack things, but I do have to say, because we also have BattleTech stream on Thursdays, that Tex Talks BattleTech released the first half of his newest video series, Battletech MechWarrior Lore Exodus to Elementals, a primer on the clans, part 1, just came out today, and it's fucking phenomenal.
It's
absolutely
good, but it was
phenomenal.
yesterday.
No, he announced it yesterday. It was a premiere that it actually did go live today. But yeah, it's excellent, and I know from private DMs with Text Talks Battletech that this video took over 800 man hours to create, and it's well worth every second.
So like your Day of the Dragons video.
Yeah, pretty much.
The real question,
which would have only taken like maybe 50 hours if I had known that audio trick.
Yeah, that was the reason why it would only take 50 hours. Not that you losing.
Did you tell Tex that audio trick?
Mm-hmm. No, if you enjoy BattleTech though, it covers a lot of the history and lore behind the Star League Exodus and what happened with the Exodus and why they ended up becoming the clans and all that. It's really good.
You were playing clansmen now, Sid.
I mean, the correct answer to that is extreme mental illness, but yeah.
No, that's very, very true.
I mean, when some guy's like, you know what our plan is? We're going to organize into squads of 5 and kill everyone that doesn't agree with us. They do that, and then they're like, okay, look, we killed a lot of people. All right, we're kind of tired of fighting now. What's the next big plan? And he's like, all right, next, the secret plan is we're all going to dress up like animals and organize ourselves into 20 animal tribes, and we'll fight each other. And everyone's like, okay, sure, we'll try it.
Okay, sure, yeah.
And then he's like,
sounds good.
All right, now that I got you on the hook for this, I'm going to create a ritualized style of legislation where only warriors have power. And everyone's like, I'm a warrior. That sounds great to me. And then he gets him with the final hook.
This is why it's important to always have more than one idea guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's like, you know what's good now?
This is the guy with the talking stick.
Having babies is bad. Cloning is good. We're just gonna clone from now on.
No, hold on. That's coming in part 2. You're getting too far ahead of yourself.
We're gonna dress up like animals. We're gonna venerate those animals. We're gonna base our whole lives around them. We're gonna do dances, and we're gonna clone ourselves. It's gonna be great, guys. And everyone's like, you know, we've been doing this for 30 years now. We wiped out the Wolverines for you, so yeah, let's just go ahead. We're gonna
in for a penny, in for a pound. It's like, well, we've already here. I was like, fuck it, return, whatever.
We've destroyed whole cultures for you, Nicholas.
We do have one person asking where they can find it. Look up the Black Pants Legion on YouTube, all one word.
Or
I can't. Or Text Talks Battletech. I can't post links because I'm not a mod in Arthur's Twitch.
You know what? Who is a mod?
Pondo
Me.
is.
So I'll have to find it eventually.
There's probably a Pondo mod.
There's a Pondo.
I found it funny that during the Kickstarter campaign for the Battletech Clan Invasion, when they were talking about working on the dice, like how they developed the dice, and they had like 3 different iterations of the Wolverine clan dice. They had to keep redoing it because they didn't keep looking good. The whole time I thought they were working up to the whole idea they were just going to scrap the Wolverine dice and be done with them.
I mean, look, Minnesota Tribe, secretly Comstar. There's a lot that Wolverines could be doing, but obviously aren't. God, if it turns out that the Wolverines secretly were Comstar the entire time, though, that would be fucking wild.
That would be interesting.
You're never going to get more interesting than Fidelis.
I just want to be a background guy that says fuck clans.
I mean,
take their Omni mech superiority up their ass and just shove
you're
it.
really mad about those Omni mechs, huh?
Yeah.
For a guy that pilots one, you seem real upset.
Yeah, but it's not a clan Omni mech. My shit is crippled.
I see. So they just invented the entire concept of it, and you're okay as long as you steal it and use it, and then
his Omni mech is like the redheaded stepchild of Omni mechs.
I see. Yeah. So you want to make it worse, and then
my hatred is not the Omni mechs. It's my hatred is just clans.
See, here's my opinion on mechs from my very, very, very limited experience with just the video games. You see that thing over there? I don't want to see it anymore. Can I do that? I'm in. That's it. That's pretty much it. Just, can I blow up their thing with this thing? And if the answer is yes, I'm all about it.
No, the issue is when people like clan stuff is like just rubs it in your face.
Speaking of
like
rubbing it in your
playing
face,
stuff.
I
Rubs
don't
it
come
right
on to your BattleTech show and talk about Warhammer. So let's talk about Warhammer.
Wow.
That's
okay.
fair.
I wasn't
That's
there,
fair.
so I got to
Wait,
bring it
no,
here.
you did talk about Warhammer. Don't give me that.
I knew that was a big lie from him. He just said that because I wasn't there.
Okay, all right. I see how it is.
He's probably talking about his Imperial Fist that he's now crying over because the Devastator Doctrine got nerfed. I'm sorry. I'm. Oh, there's a big errata for the Space Marines that happened the 27th.
Yeah, I'm sure James knows nothing about that.
Yeah, he knows absolutely nothing about it except for the fact that he was talking about it.
Probably never seen it before.
Nope.
Yeah.
I don't even know what Imperial Fists are, so
I can tell you that at the recent Las Vegas Open, out of 700 lists, 91 of them were pure Iron Hands.
Yeah.
And of those, 79 included the combination of the Relic Leviathan Dreadnought and the Ironstone.
Yeah,
So-
you would think that they would have learned, because they did this back with Pharaohs. I'm like, oh, that's not how we really intended for people to use that. And so everybody moved on to like the next broken thing. And that's what they said. And they're like, oh, by the way, fuck doctrines for everybody while we're at it. Instead of nerfing the thing that just like the ITC players are doing. So like, let's fuck it up for everybody. It's like, great, thanks.
Well,
Appreciate it.
And this rule applies to all tabletop war games, basically. But if you don't like having to change your list because the rules keep changing, don't keep taking broken ass things.
That's a good role to.
I agree.
go by.
You know what? You need to pick a kind of list that's stable. There might be slight changes to it over time, but in the meta, it's always going to be rated high, not the highest. For instance, Ultramarines.
So boring as
You know,
shit
it's
and
also
basic
good.
bitch.
You just pick something that's been kicked in the dirt for about a couple of years, and then they suddenly bring it up in one good update, just by adding a whole bunch of stratagems.
Orcs.
I'm waiting for Blood Angels are going to get nerfed next. Watch it happen.
Just don't touch
Just
the Grey
wait.
Knights. They already have a hard enough time.
No, see, they were good for a while.
Hey, they're
That's
competitive.
why
now.
they got nerfed.
They are
They-
competitive. Finally,
The guy from Lawrence Baker from Tabletop Tactics with the big championship in the UK went 6-0 with his Grey Knights.
that's
So,
interesting.
Damn.
yeah.
Their issue is they don't have very good anti-vehicle stuff.
Well, yeah, it's not their
So
shtick.
if you're able to, you can switch the Tide of War to the one where it gives you extra spine damage.
I don't
Do
know
it
if you
that
knew
way.
this, Pondo, but daemons don't typically use vehicles.
Correct. So James, they're thinking that the new thing
Yes,
that
but most professional players use the most broken shit. Which was
I
Iron
agree.
well,
Hands.
yeah, we're just talking about. I mean, that's why like the best of the tournament players are the reasons why it's like, oh, as soon as the Iron Hand stuff dropped and people saw like what that was going to be like, you couldn't buy like any.
That's it. And
Like,
hey, Pondo.
Executioners are sold out. Thunderfire cannons are sold out. I mean, it's just going to switch over. So now, guess what? If Grey Knights are the new hotness, guess what? Guess it's getting nerfed next.
That's it. His list was 60 paladins. So
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Well, you know what? They're thinking the new Marine hotness is going to be. It's just take like fucking 40 intercessors and a bunch of Centurions. It's
look,
just
when
going
you're
to be.
Zerg rushing with Terminators, you've gone to a whole new level of the game.
Yeah. So it just sucks for everybody else that didn't just take, castle executioners or the
That
fucking
legitimately-
bullshit flyer list or, the broken Leviathan Dreadnought thing. It's like there were a bunch of people in the Iron Hands 40K subreddit talking about like people who've been fans of Iron Hands. Like get people who chime in from like 4th and 5th edition. They're like, oh yeah, that's great. It was good being good for like, a little bit. That was nice, but we can't have nice things.
So were you serious about the 60 paladins things? That just sounds bizarre to me.
No, that's welcome to what tournament players do.
Exactly.
I mean, this is what I'm talking about. Like the Leviathan Dreadnought thing. I as a casual player never thought about doing that. None of the other people I know who play thought about doing that because it's just one of those things where it's like it's just pure cheese. It's like it's not even fun at that point. At least for most people, it's the same thing with the first thing that got nerfed. The reason why Pharaohs got nerfed, and then the second two lists that survived out of that. After that, the castle thing got broken up, or why they got nerfed this time. So it's just like now they're just going to switch to then. Like somebody made a really good joke, James. Like, hey, if you ever wanted to buy a Leviathan Dreadnought painted in Iron Hands colors, now is your time. So I actually might look on eBay after this because be a lot of Iron Hand stuff going for real cheap. So
hard to me. Why do tournament players not like fun? That's
because that's to get their fun out of being the best of the best. But it just sucks for all the casual players because they're the ones who pay for it. So when GW says, well, this is how we intended for the rules to be read, it's like, well, great. They can have, I mean, don't ITC have some of their own rule sets anyway for certain things? Yeah. It's like, why don't they just change it for ITC and like balance it, air quote balance, not go. The problem is recently they've just been going at everything with a sledgehammer. It's like you could have toned down a couple things and it would have been okay, bring everybody more in line. You don't have to just like go like, you know, C4 in a China shop and just destroy everything for everybody. You know, it's just like ugh. So I'm just gonna play AdMech, just be over here being middle of the pack. I'll be fine with it. So
okay. Are we ready to kick this thing off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right.
Campaign card is.
Oh yeah, we get.
Oh yeah, I laid out campaign cards for everybody. So
yeah, I grabbed one.
I don't know where mine is.
I mean,
it's in the middle of the board. I just grabbed one.
Hondo.
Okay, well I got something.
Wow, this is real hard to read.
That's not the Eldar question, for they will give you 3 answers, all of which are true and terrifying to know.
That's correct.
To gain all the information available of some foe, mystery or secret, make a corruption test. Gain 1 glory. Okay.
If you don't believe me, ask what I'm doing later, and I'll give you 3 equally terrifying correct answers.
So what do you got?
Drove that into
Battle brothers. Brothers, war calls you. Will you answer? Make a brief statement about teamwork, unity, or brotherhood. Play to add 2 icons to another player's test. Add 1 glory. Now, I'm not sure what that is. 2 icons. Does that mean 2 successes?
No, you did that in the wrong way.
That's correct.
It should have been like after you did the brothers thing. It's like, make a brief statement about teamwork, unity, and brotherhood.
No.
Play the 2 icons and all.
That's only in the Christmas special where we're all played by Muppets.
And only in the $50 a month Patreon special.
Wow, you're really pushing this one, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see
person who's on Muppet though.
I can't wait to see a Muppet say the word motherfucker.
I can make that happen.
James, what do you have here?
All right, I got card. There is only war, so this is play to have diplomacy break down while suspicion and aggression are on the rise. All interaction skill tests other than intimidation suffer a +2 DN penalty for the rest of the scene. All protagonists gain 1 wrath.
I had that one, and I regret that I was never able to actually use it.
What's this here? Or sorry, what's this here, Kalrak?
Oh God, don't bring them in your chat. You don't want to do that. That's a can of worms you do not want to open. Mine says, let's see, play to recall, where the GM may reveal a memory. Can't see what this fact or other piece of information pertinent to the. I can't see what current scene. Yeah.
Yep. Add 1 glory.
Add 1 glory.
I still have all this crap over here.
I cast exposition.
Look, that's gonna be the name of this
That's basically what it is.
Friends, our scene begins with the Inquisitor handing Lycus Santoro a water bottle as he's patting him on the back and says, "You have done well. It seems that the runes have not broken you. I have not yet decided your future, Lycus. On one path stands Interrogator, an apprentice Inquisitor. I have had several over the years, but none have ever survived the process. It has broken them in service to the Imperium. On the other, you could become a throne agent a member of my personal regard, my warband, trusted agent and consultant.
Well, sir, if I'm to be honest, it's at the moment I'm not quite sure what answer I'd like to give you at the moment.
I will give you some time. Your opinion may have some bearing on my final decision.
Very well, I will think on it.
Know that
Warband.
purifying yourself of corruption like this can be difficult. In fact, all I have done is prove that you are not at a level of corruption from which you cannot be saved. Removing corruption, incredibly difficult. And since we are the ones who confront it on a regular basis, remember to do what you can to shield your heart and soul. For the methods needed to truly cleanse you may be beyond your ability to withstand, as you are now.
I could use some cleansing.
Do you want to voluntarily offer to get cleansed by the Inquisitor?
Yes, actually.
Are you trying to make this into like a weird sex thing? Because that's not what this is.
No, not that at all.
Crossing the line there.
I mean, how do you offer to have your corruption reduced? Are you there when he's releasing Lycus from his office?
I don't know. Would I be?
Sure.
Lycus.
Guess it depends how long it's been since we landed and whatever.
It's been 3 days.
Oh, well, yeah, never mind.
Like, we've gone through a fair amount of shit these past few days. If you're offering, if you have ways to remove the taint of corruption, I wouldn't be opposed to such things.
You believe that you can withstand the process?
I believe that a soul free of the taint of corruption can better serve the Emperor.
Then let us see if your faith is wanting. Antipho Renatus. And he gestures for you to enter into his personal office.
Steady myself with like 2 or 3 long breaths and then stalk forward. I'm feeling this is going to be painful.
Oh, believe it, it will. There's nothing that's never not painful when it comes to this sort of things.
The door's shut in your face, like as he says privately to Antipho. Pain is just corruption leaving the body.
I don't know if he is brave or incredibly stupid.
Both.
Certainly.
I just look at him and say, I understand.
So he gestures to that sort of ritual circle that he has, where there is a flagellation unit set up in order to attach to your nerve endings and cause you intense, unbearable pain. And he says, what has led you to believe that you are a corrupted child of humanity?
One cannot be present during such things that we have seen over the weeks and months that cannot allow even a minute amount of corruption to take heart. I would wish to see whatever small vestiges are there purged.
So he snaps on some gloves and says,
Oh my.
"There will be pain." And that's the last thing you remember as you pass out screaming almost immediately.
Antipho just see, like, out of his peripheral vision, just sees the little floating Kalrak head. You are weak, Antipho. Weak.
What do the rest of you do?
I'm sitting on a bench with like a very, very tiny magazine. This is what passes as entertainment for your kind. Just it's very tiny, like obscenely small in his hands.
It's like High Life.
Just like,
Looking at a Where's Waldo segment.
pulls out like a car driver. Now this is entertainment.
I think I'm calling out the rogue trader.
Price, danger, danger.
Huh?
Okay.
Yeah.
After about 5 minutes, a ship's officer picks up and says, "This is the danger. How may I direct your call?"
Yes, I wish to speak to the, I believe, the captain or the
Our rogue trader. Yes. Price,
Yes.
danger, danger.
Lord Captain.
Lord Captain.
Yes. Can I ask who's calling?
This is Lycus Centauro.
Lycus Santoro, hero of the Imperium?
Yes.
Very well. About 30 seconds later, Bryce Danger Danger picks up and says, "This is Bryce Danger Danger."
Yes, I
One
was
of these
calling
days you should
to-
always answer as like, no, the other one.
I was calling to arrange a meeting with you, or like you had requested once before. We've just been busy, and as right now we have a bit of free time.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll have a shuttle sent down for you, and we'll just teleport you back when the meeting's over to save some time.
That sounds good. I just hope that you are a man of your word.
Are you saying you can't trust a rogue trader?
I've been giving a lot of warning.
Business is built on trust.
Yes, that's why I am trusting you not to just fly us away and not.
Where would I go? I don't know if you looked around lately, mate, but there's a Tyranid invasion going on. It's not like I can just warp out of here. Gellerfield isn't going to form.
Fair enough. We'll be there whenever your shuttle gets here.
Sending it to your core location now.
Thank you.
We cut to about 6 hours later. You are getting off golf carts, which have driven you through part of his cruiser, to the area outside his bridge, like a ready room waiting area, where he says, "Welcome, everyone. Where's the other one?"
Oh, we would have actually waited for. Are you talking about Antipho?
Yes.
We would have actually waited
It
for
will be
him.
days before Antipho comes out of that room.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Days
sorry,
of
Sid.
unending torment. No.
Sorry, just quickly-
I chose this, so
Can we treat that 6 hours as a respite so we can heal wounds as well?
Absolutely.
It's been
please
like
do.
3 days,
Yeah,
isn't
it's
it?
been 3 days. You're fully healed, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. Yes, he is currently going through a very agonizing process of cleansing.
Well, that's a choice.
It was his choice. I don't think he realized how painful these endeavors are.
So he gestures and says, "Got some fine selections of teas and alcohols here. I don't know if any of you drink. My understanding is that most of you," and then he looks around and says, "Actually, just you, Lycus, have never been off of this system, so, have a taste of the Imperium, as it were."
Very well. I guess you'll have a drink.
Eshairr. I have several Eldari among my fleet. I've got some premium taste of home. Unfortunately, home is not the home that you're used to. Quite a different craft world, I'm afraid. But I think you'll find it a better fare than what you might find on other Imperium worlds.
It couldn't be much worse. Let's see what you have.
So it's basically marked as being Biltan, I think is the name of it. It's got the runes of the Biltan along it. And it's like strong warrior tea, drink to grow, buff, that kind of stuff.
Eldari muscle milk.
Yeah.
I'll happily take some if he's offering it.
He does, in fact, offer it. And then he turns to you, Kalrak, and goes, Amasek.
Might as well win an Ultramar.
So he pours you a Space Marine-sized mug, which is a mug that's about 3 times bigger than a regular person's mug.
It's an Iron Wolf. It's Iron Wolf standard issue. Or not Iron Wolf. Sorry, Space Wolf standard issue. Like,
Well, this one has, it's not Space Wolf, it's Blood Angels sigil on it.
Ah, even better.
Yeah, and he says, my personal Blood Angels guard makes sure to keep a set of mugs and Space Marine grade Amasek around, just for visitors of your caliber.
Well, if any among us has the taste, it would be the Sons of Sanguinius.
It's interesting you would mention that. I wanted to show you my most precious artifact. And he presses a button, and the room grows dim, and then spotlighting lights up a wall where the whole wall flips and shows a document that's been written on like vellum scroll paper, and it's been signed in blood. And he says, let me tell you about how my ancestors received our writ, our charter as rogue traders. What do you know of the Imperium Secundus?
Only what was written, what records survive from the time of the Great Heresy.
Indeed. As you know, Robot Gulaman, or however you pronounce it, which I can't do in fake Space Australian, I can't even do it in English, so was stuck
Lord Regent
in the realm of Ultramar during a time of great struggle in the galaxy. You can call him the Lord Regent if you like. I just call him by his first name.
I believe that's his official title. That's what I will refer to him as.
Absolutely. Some call him the Lord Commander of the Imperium, but, he and I are on that kind of friendship level basis. So, they had a slight problem. Ultramar's cut it off from everywhere else. What is the Lord Commander to do? Lord Regent to do, but perhaps make a new second Imperium. As you know, they did. They called it the Imperium Secundus. It stretched 500 star systems. But they didn't want any level of political corruption or any darkness to set into the hearts of the rulership. So, Robot Guliman, which is definitely how his name is pronounced.
You mean Gilliman?
Rowboat Girly Man.
Yes, that's exactly what I said. Both of those are exactly what I said. You're just hearing it differently because of our translation software.
Sure. That's the issue.
Invited another one of his Primarch brothers to rule in his stead. Primarch Sanguinus, who became the Imperator Regis. Now, 500 star systems, I don't know if you know this because, well, you might know this and you might know this, but you've never been out of this system. Like, it's 500 star systems is a lot of star systems. It's not easy to run. Things fall through the cracks. Troublesome elements to the Imperium find themselves No place to go, no way to be useful to the Empire, or the Imperium Secundus as it was. Skilled navigators didn't have worthwhile captains to lead their vessels, and of course, black ships went astray from time to time with no one to lead them through the warp. And so they commissioned a rogue trader, the Danger Bloodline. My great, super long ago, not even hardly worth mentioning, so many millennia ago, my great-grandmother. And he gestures to the signature of Imperator Regis Sanguinus, which is written in blood, and says, as a result, some of the Blood Angels follow me just to make sure that this particular artifact remains in perfect condition.
Makes perfect sense.
I just wanted to make sure you all know that I'm on the level. I'm not one of those fake inquisitors plotting to remain a rogue trader. This isn't a fake document. My story is very real, although I am the only rogue trader who's not got one signed by the Emperor. I think that's pretty neat.
Well, you know, Lycus, I assume he has to be telling the truth, because if he tried to forward something like that, his bodyguard would rip his heart out.
Oh, no, like multiple bodyguards. Yes, they would definitely kill me. I would invite them to kill me, actually.
So if your family line was founded during the time of trouble around the forming of the Great Rift, then certainly the current circumstances seem to fit your modus operandi quite well as well then.
I did make it here through that giant, huge, I mean, that's a real bitch of a warp storm, isn't it? I mean, just simply massive. I have to tell you, my business involves solving that, because, you know, let's be real here. The captain who manages to regularly make runs through that rift is going to be unbelievably wealthy. I mean, yeah, sure, it's great to serve the Emperor and the Imperium and all that, but the level of tax wealth flowing through the fingers of whoever can lead someone from a system on one side to the other on a regular basis, I mean, that's the foundation of the whole Imperium right there. And that's what I wanted to speak to you privately about, Lycus.
Trying to figure out a way to manipulate the rift?
Why don't you step into my private office?
Okay.
I assume the two of you can entertain yourself here. We've got some Emperor's Tarot. We've got several games, Snakes and Ladders, Cowboys and Eldarians. Just plenty of good board games, holo games, combat simulations. You can even watch promotional videos I make about me that I send to every planet system when I arrive, so people know who I am and how I'm offering the best prices in the galaxy, guaranteed.
But do you have risk?
He only has Stratego.
You know, Kalrak, this tea wouldn't do any harm to any permanent harm to your physiology, and it is from a craft world which has been destroyed, so it might be a unique opportunity to sample it.
I accept your challenge.
So he leads you into a private study where you can see that there are mounted heads of several mega beasts. Pictures of him capturing those beasts are set beneath it. When I say pictures, I mean paintings that have been taken of him, like on top of the head of a mega beast, planting a flag in it. There are ancient ancestral weapons, an arc pistol, some form of super heavy flamer. You can see that there's even a half-destroyed Space Marine bolter hanging on his walls, and he gestures to an enormously over plush seat and sits down across from you at a massive desk where there's basically a throne and a pirate captain's hat.
You know that super famous image of the Marines raising the flag on Iwo Jima? It's like that, but it's an Imperial flag inside, but the rock is like a Tyranid skull.
Yeah, exactly. That's
It's
exactly
a bunch of it's like a bunch of guardsmen, you know.
Lycus, I hope you're not overwhelmed by everything that you're seeing here. Just because I'm ridiculously, fabulously wealthy, handsome, and useful doesn't mean that your contributions to this particular system, what's the name of it anyway, haven't gone unnoticed.
Right.
I see a lot of potential in you, based on your news broadcasts and reports that I've received, and having discussed things with Lady Pisha. You seem to be a young lad of incomparable talent. And I have to be honest, I see a little bit of myself in the way that you suicidally throw yourself into every situation with zero regard for your own health. I could really use someone with your level of capability on my crew. I'd be willing to bring in all of your companions, your warband, give you a private profile as a sort of minister without portfolio to solve problems in my regard. I know,
So you're
it's a
needing
lot
someone...
to take in right now.
No, I'm just trying to process how much I believe of the seeing yourself in a man who suicidally jumps into a situation without little regard to his own well-being.
I just spent several weeks navigating the warp, the daemon-infested warp, with no beacon to cross into the total unknown to reach this system, at the behest of an Inquisitor who I don't particularly like, who wants to investigate time crimes? Yes, I was paid fabulously for my services, just absolutely ridiculously. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you. I could buy this entire system.
I understand that you're more than likely paid handsomely for your work.
And you know what? It's not about getting paid once. It's about getting paid, like, many times over. Like, you know, you get paid, and then you get the people who've paid you to pay you again to do something else. Sometimes the same thing.
I will think on your offer. I'm not sure why you necessarily need me.
Let me tell you something.
I've
seen a lot of Imperial citizens in my time. You have no idea what the galaxy is like out there. I don't know that anyone can truly say what the whole galaxy is like, but I've seen a lot of it. I've been to Terra and back. I mean, I just mentioned my good pal Robert Guillemon, which is exactly how it's pronounced, with the zero derivation from that particular... He's alive again, just in case you didn't know that. Just wandering around alive again, totally unreal, you know.
Right.
Met the grandmom, you know, so I got to talk to him about that. You know, I'll be honest, I only had a few casual sentences with him. He's a very busy man, busy running the Imperium and stopping crusades and all that.
I have only one major request. We are in need of a group that is capable of, or well trained in facing the Xeno threat of the Gene Stealers.
I have several Death Watch agents on board.
Yes. We were wondering if we could use them for a short period of time.
So, we're talking about an exchange here. What do I get?
I'll have to see what our resources have to offer for you.
Why not you?
I would have to speak with my Inquisitor for that.
Inquisitor, you don't belong to him. You can make your own choice in this regard. We have equal levels of authority in the Imperium. Look, isn't that the most important thing that the Emperor has left for us? The ability to choose freely our destiny. Also a beacon in the warp, stable society, great economy, the ability to fight back
Loyalty.
against chaos, but also freedom.
So I have quite a bit of loyalty to the man. So
What
I'll have
has
to
he
see
done
if
for
he's
you?
willing to surrender me in order to.
I'm
for
not
the
clear on your
utilization.
relationship with him. Is he like secretly your father or something? Like,
No.
that happens a lot with Inquisitors, where, you know, like, one of the Inquisitors is secretly your father, and then you find out that he made you an Inquisitor, so you get mad, and then you go to ruin his life, and then two Inquisitors are locked in eternal combat, and, oh, it's a whole mess. They wrote a novel about it. I read it. It was ridiculous.
Right. No, he's the man that gave me my status that I have today. Previously, I was just practically a regular old guardsman. Now I'm this.
Let me circle back in how
Yes.
I started this conversation. I've seen a lot of people of different
Yes.
races all across the galaxy, and you know what? You can tell when someone is different. When they can rise above whatever circumstances they've been placed in and go to a new level, a higher tier of understanding. Your ability to do things in the Imperium, I think, is wasted in this backwater.
Are you sure? Because there's been a lot of crap that's been happening recently.
But do you honestly think that you personally are doing your fullest here? You don't think some other random piece of meat in a uniform couldn't do what you've done here? Maybe not as well, probably not as well, but it would still get done at some point, wouldn't it?
Maybe, maybe not.
What if you were somewhere else doing things more worthy of your time and attention?
The chance of adventure and grandeur seems lovely.
There's heresy everywhere. All
Indeed.
sorts of heresy. You know, and Xenos that need to be purged. Like, not all Xenos, but just like purgeable Xenos. And I'm pretty good at categorizing that, you know. You take one look at a Xenos and you can normally tell purge or not purge pretty quickly, just based on body language, number of tentacles they have, chaos markings. That's usually a pretty dead giveaway.
Yes.
Level of smugness, especially in Eldari, like super smug Eldari, you know that you just have to kill them right away before they open their mouths.
Of course.
Yeah, you know how it is. See, we understand each other on an instinctive level. I gotta be honest, I'm looking for someone I can mold into my heir. You know, I have 40 wives across the Imperium, but all of my children have been lacking in that certain something, that je ne sais quoi.
Balls?
Intelligence.
No, I'm pretty sure at least, you know, half of my offspring.
Not literal balls, theoretical.
Okay.
Metaphorical. The cojones to stand in front of death itself.
Yeah, no, yes, you're correct. I mean, I need someone to act as like a secondary captain at some point, you know? I wanna make my successor. I'm not saying that you're like my son or anything, but I feel like over time we might be able to come to some sort of arrangement where you slowly take over command of my fleet from me while I retire someplace incredibly, unbelievably wealthily with all of my wives and plenty of people who aren't my wives to take care of my family. You know, the traditional rogue trader way, before you get shot in the back or something.
Of course. But before then I make my decision, I must report back to my Inquisitor.
Well, let me tell you what I need you for here and now, if you will agree to work in my service, if only temporarily, just on this particular project.
Okay, what would you need?
I believe that somewhere in this system is an object of immense wealth and power. If you'll recall, I was speaking previously about something called the Imperium Secundus.
Yes.
Yes, well, it turns out that there was a Xenos technology in the Secundus known as the Pharos. It was capable of puncturing a hole through warp space and presenting people with easy transit, the destination chosen by the device.
Indeed.
I have reason to believe, through years of searching for a way to defeat this massive warp storm, that a similar but slightly different device exists in this system. Imagine, if you would, the 3 known phases of space. Warp space, or real space, and then that webway that the Eldar use. Now imagine that they are set in like a circle, and they're all divided into triangular sections. My research says that this device will rotate that circle. So where we see a warp storm, the device would be capable of turning it either into a path through the webway or back into real space, one of those two things. And more importantly, it could turn warp space into a connection into the webway, slow the Eldari down by letting a horde of demons go deal with them. I mean, that's a 2-for-1 right there. Slow down our enemies, force them to fight each other, and create a pathway to our worlds, which would be unbelievably useful to the Imperium, and also to anyone that could control that passage, like me.
Right.
There are thousands of systems looking for a way to send ties back to the Imperium, to Terra. And there are plenty of black ships, rogue psychos that need training, sacrifice, tech priests from Mars looking to go home or find new places to serve. Those in need of becoming a tech priest need a way back to Mars. Plenty of arbitres want to go study the law directly in the halls of Terra. I mean, this transit corridor, should we be able to find and activate it, would be unbelievable. As unbelievable as a giant demonic hole ripping itself through space. So it'd be really cool if you could help me find it.
I'll do my best.
So you do agree to work with me on this?
Yes, it has benefit to this planet, the system. Whether we could get other resources out.
He holds his hand out to shake.
He'll shake his hand.
I'm glad to be working with you, Lycus. Now, just to be clear, are you lying?
No.
Okay.
I'll find it.
He stares you in the eye, gives you like a... It's obvious he's making an insight check on you. You can hear dice falling somewhere. Then he shakes your hand and says, "Excellent. Now, don't tell the Eldari about that thing where we want to release demons into the webway, because as awesome as that's going to be, they probably will not like that very much. And you guys really love Eldari around here. Like,
perhaps we should not consider doing that, being that we could use them as allies, not necessarily as enemies.
Well, I gotta be honest. As much as I like having some Eldari around on my ships, they are enemies of the Imperium. And I am a servant to the Imperium, and so are you. You spent your whole life in this system, so you have no idea how the rest of the world deals with them. You know? You all are like letting Eldari ships float in orbit above your planets. It's ridiculous.
Because there's use, and we have both the same enemy.
Every day I have to tell my targeting officer not to blow them up. One of my mechanicus is in the back, constantly polishing up a sacred atomic.
Of course.
Those aren't easy to come by the way. Atomic weaponry.
Yes.
When you're as wealthy as me, you just keep some spare, just in case.
Yes.
You never know when you might need an atomic weapon in space combat.
Right.
All right, I'm going to let you go then. Here's a list of directions to get to the teleportation chamber. It's only going to be 48 steps. He hands you a list with 48 steps.
Like not steps
Yeah,
as
it's not
in,
48 walking steps. It's 48,
it's 48
things you need
steps
to do
to
to get
getting
there.
there. Yeah. It's like it's the Google directions if you print it out.
Yes, precisely.
Yeah. Thank you. I'll let you know if I find anything.
That's right. Lycus has never spent any considerable amount of time on a space.
Not really.
He lets you back out into the ready room.
Well, you two, shall we be going?
Did you get what you needed?
At least a step towards it.
Yes, I believe we're ready to go. I was just explaining to Eshairr the reason why Sanguinius was most favored of all of the sons.
As you say that, you're walking through a doorway out into the bridge corridor, and you can see like a blood angel there just like turns and with his helmet nods, and then it goes back to pressing buttons on the bridge.
I just also give him a nod.
Yes, it was quite different to the stories in my book. A lot more involved.
We need to get you a different book.
And you need to give me those. And I take the directions from him.
Thank you.
When you say that, Eshairr, Price Danger goes, I'm sorry, did you say you needed a book about man's history and the Imperium?
No, I have one.
Oh, I mean, I have several that I have narrated or written.
Okay.
This is a Kenneth Cross trap.
No.
Just with an Australian accent instead of a Texan.
I mean, we were specifically having a conversation about the Lord Sanguinius's rule during Imperium Secundus.
Well, I happen to know quite a lot about that, as it's part of my family history. Would you like God, they wouldn't call it a Vox, right? Just like a video? A pict.
Pictcast.
Would you like a Pictcast narrated by me explaining the history of the Imperium Secundus from the point of view of someone who survived it? My grandmother, great-great-great-great-great-grandmother, several millennium ago.
Sure, why not?
So, yeah, he hands you over a VHS tape labeled "Price Danger Danger: How to Survive Dangerous Times in the Imperial Secundus, Part 1, a history of the Imperium Secundus."
It can't be any worse than some of the authors they chose for the early Warhammer audiobooks.
My book may be intended for your young, but I think there's a certain truth in the mythology we tell our children, in the way we try to create the adults they'll become. I think that there's a visceral nature to the book that would not be so well found in a true history book.
You mean it's a fantasy tale?
I mean, it's children's allegories of imperial history.
Right.
I believe every culture has those.
So he turns to someone on the bridge and says, all right, write this down. Eldari markets, allegories for children. And he goes, brilliant, sir. Absolutely brilliant. A whole new market we can open up. Everybody on the bridge starts standing up and clapping slowly, and he says, that's right. Always keep an eye on the profit.
We'll be going now.
People are still clapping as you leave.
God, I just imagine it's a mandate that all 30,000 crewmen have to stand up and clap whenever he comes up with an idea.
65,000 crewmen, actually.
Jesus Christ, it's even worse.
It's a Conquest Star Galleon. It's his flagship.
That seems about
right. You finally find your way to, I wouldn't say it's slapdash. It's clearly custom built. It wasn't originally in the ship, and you can see that the doorways don't line up as well as the rest of the ship do, and the plating is different in here. The hull plating is different, but there is a teleportium. Is that what it's called?
Teleportarium.
Teleportarium in here. A Mechanicus in dark orange robes is just like, welcome, brothers.
I just give him the sign of the Mechanicus, the cog, the holy cog.
I have set your destination.
Thank
to
you.
the office of the ruler of the planet. Is that acceptable?
Good enough.
Stand on the platform.
Very well.
I'm going to regret this, but okay.
Know that the Mechanicus and the Danger Bloodline are not responsible for any injuries that result from the use of the Teleportarium.
That's the catch.
He begins going through 40 lines of, not non-disclosure,
Disclaimer.
but waiver. Yeah.
Have you never used Imperial Teleportation technology
Verbally
before?
give your assent to this warning.
Remember to breathe.
Don't do what he says. Remember to empty your lungs.
Is it breathe or lungs? Or
Well,
empty?
for you, breathe. Don't breathe. Breathe. No, don't breathe. Yes.
He starts lowering his hand towards the button. Empty your lungs immediately, human.
I
forget you only have
immediately
two.
Empty his lungs.
You only have two.
He lets out a binary cast of prayer and then presses the button, and you all.
I just give like as we just whatever. I just the thumbs up as the crackles of electricity start to fly around us.
You end up in the office of Colm Humes, who is currently standing, looking out a large stained glass window with a glass of wine in his hand, singing to the music that's happening, and he's just, oh my goodness, that, like I said, Toro, are you really here?
Yes, it's me.
Wow, you have some balls to come see me after you killed my brother.
Oh, I didn't kill your brother. It was
Just like 3 days ago.
It was talent and aspects. He blew him up. Your brother was a traitor, by the way.
He drinks some wine and he just says, yes, I know. It's very sad.
Though I will admit, if I caught your brother as being a traitor, which I did, I probably would have killed him as well.
On the plus side, it seems that you've not been found wanting in your loyalty.
You could tell he's so drunk, it takes him a while to work through that, and then he says, why would my loyalty be wanting? My job is to make the Inquisitor look good. I do it all the time.
It is the Inquisition. You know how they are?
Yeah. I do apologize about the circumstance with your brother.
Do you?
I don't.
Half-heartedly.
I mean, it's the Imperium. Doing something half-heartedly, isn't that heresy?
Your brother's choices were his own.
I agree. But I also wish that he hadn't made them and that he wasn't dead.
Well, hindsight and something about 20s or something.
Would you like to join me for a meal? We could just eat it, then throw it up, and then eat another meal.
I like how we got to go to the fancy ship with the fancy booze, and Tifa wasn't there. We're getting to get the fancy meal, and Tifa's not here.
We'll pass.
The two people that can't appreciate fancy food the most are the Eldar and the fucking Space Marine.
It hurts my soul. It really does.
No. The pain glove hurts your soul.
As you make your way through the secret elevators back to the monastery fortress of the Inquisitor, we get a Terminator scene of Antipho stumbling out of the room naked, covered in rising mist around him, just vomiting on the floor. Please remove 1 point of corruption from your character. As the Inquisitor,
I need your clothes, your boots, and your land speeder.
The Inquisitor cleans his hands off, takes off his gloves, and has his servitor throw your clothes down next to you and says, you see, taking off your clothing was very important to this process. I know it seems weird, but when one wishes to receive the Emperor's light, they should do so clothed as the Imperium made them.
I understand. Thank you.
See that it went well.
Now you understand why it is important to not be corrupted in the first place.
I'm sure the mist kept the same PG-13
Yeah,
approved.
of course. Yeah, it's strategically placed mist.
Strategically placed mist.
It's like the anime.
Precisely.
That should be the name of Antipho's biography. It's just strategically placed mist.
Well, I have news about the possibility of getting a kill team from the Death Watch. Though the price is an
Really?
interesting one.
What is the price then?
He wishes to exchange the use of the Death Watch for me. He has aspirations of taking me to putting him under his wing to eventually have
That
me
sounds
take over.
really familiar to me. That sounds like my plan, actually.
It's practically exactly your plan.
I'm mildly insulted that he would attempt to take such a prized asset that I have raised to this level. Now that you are semi-competent.
Thank you.
Clearly, the course of action is to challenge him to an honor duel and kill him.
I am an Inquisitor. I would just send an assassin to do that. I would not
This doesn't sound as fun.
like to do it.
No.
I didn't think so.
Maybe.
You're going to fight a whole ship, a whole star cruiser worth of Imperial soldiers. For me.
Blood angels alike, space marines, yada yada yada.
If it wasn't the angels, I would agree. But I like the angels. They're agreeable.
That's fair.
Second news,
He had a flotilla, didn't he? Not just one ship?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah,
Other
because
set of
the Star
news?
Galleon's more like an upgun freighter.
No, it was a Stargalleon.
Other set of news is that he is also looking for the Pharaohs. Artifact used to
It's
help.
unfortunate, as you might know, I am looking for a similar object.
Yes.
Well, he seemed to insinuate he was on first name basis with the Lord
Gilman.
Commander, did he not? Well, does he not know him? Actually, I think about it. No, he probably does not know Imperial history. Never mind.
I mean, I believe we're all looking for the same thing, but if he's on the same side, if he's on the side of the Imperium, then surely whether he finds the Pharaohs or you do, Lord Inquisitor, is there a difference?
Well, yes.
It's a matter of getting there.
It's a matter of what other bits of things he wants to do with it. He is mainly wanting to use it to help the Imperium, but also sabotage the Eldari. Something about using it to put the Great Rift of the Warp, shift it into the webway. Yada yada yada.
So when you say that, the Inquisitor's just like, well, that's unfortunate. I suppose now would be the time to reveal that my deal with Eshairr's people is that we would work together to find this artifact and use it wisely to benefit both of us.
Indeed.
And flipping the Great Rift into the webway is not a wise use of it. There are many artifacts in the webway that can aid the Inquisition, like the Black Library.
Yes. He gave me an argument that the way our views of the Eldari are not quite the same as the rest of the Imperium, which is understandable, but again, it does not hurt to keep with allies such as the Eldari.
I feel like we're confusing all of the Imperium with all of the Eldari. There are certainly those among my kind who seek to protect the webway from mankind. Others share it. I mean, during the creation of the Cicatrix Maledictum, the Eldari helped the people that escaped from Cadia get back to Terra, including resurrecting the Lord Commander and transported them through the webway. It's only that any time that the Eldari have tried to share the technology required to develop the webway or to grow it, it's always ended poorly for mankind. So when we have reached agreements, it's always been over shared use rather than expansion. But you're right. There will certainly be there'll be people on either side. There'll be Imperial citizens who would rather see the webway destroyed than have the Imperium use it, and there'll be Eldari that would fight any human that tries to enter it. But I think that to sort of try and categorize either race's opinion down to a single point of view is doing a disservice to the situation.
Where do you fall, Eshairr? You have been given somewhat unique level of circumstance in leading your people in this regard?
I've had obviously a unique, well, not a unique, but a rare opportunity to spend time among humanity for the last close to a year now. And my perspective is based largely upon the people that I've worked with, and I indicate towards the others. If I had to use the webway to facilitate our mission, and I could, I had a waystone, then I wouldn't think twice about taking these individuals through that. I would now defend the people that I have formed a rapport with against others of my kind that would seek to do them harm only because of their race. I don't believe that I'm in a position to change the global feeling about humanity, but I think that for what little influence I have, that you have an ally among the Eldari in me.
That is good to hear. Because I would not want to enter into conflict with those with whom I've worked so closely with, not when both of our goals in the webway are so aligned. Your farseers have been pliable.
Antipho thinks to himself, didn't this guy just tell us not too long ago to kill Eshairr on a whim?
Yes, but that was when evil bad Eldari were attacking the planet, and he said, all Eldari are betraying us.
He's not a details person. He's a big picture person.
Yeah, the big picture was evil Eldari.
Group of evil Eldari. Everybody's
Only
evil now.
target the ones who look like they fought their way through a hot topic.
The excessive amounts of.
It's just dead harlequins everywhere.
So does this mean, along with the threat of the Great Devourer and the servants of the Warp, that we need to make sure we reach the Pharos before this rogue trader does?
Yes, but the other threats that you have listed are not the only ones. And in fact, I figure they are currently some of the least threats that we face. Come into my office. I will update you on events and plans.
Very well.
Antipho put some clothes on. Being
Yes,
naked
please.
in an
I like how
inquisitive
somebody said in chat, there's a servitor just holding a black bar strategically in front of him.
being naked in an inquisitor's office is heresy. That was
If
a joke.
If I'm recalling my
well.
if I'm recalling my history, what's all the mist? You got to keep it cold, like keep it near the floor. If I'm recalling my history correctly, I believe the planet the Pharos is located on is controlled by a chapter of Gilman's sons anyway. So he should be ideally placed to take advantage of it.
As the doors to his office close, we get a black screen that says, "To be continued," after an 8-minute question mark break. Now look, this whole episode, I have been attempting to subtly, completely fucking ruin the subtitles for Dunamis. And I hope that I've succeeded.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
That's gonna translate well. I mean, it's a unique word.
So I have an Eldari lexicon here. I could start speaking in Eldari if that would help.
Please don't.
Currently being attacked by my cat through the back of my chair, you asshole.
So look, we'll be back for the second half where there will be more talking and exposition before we get around to doing anything. And now Antipho might actually get a chance to eat something on screen. Something that Sid loves doing.
Very much so, yes.
Vivid
Food is
eating
important.
descriptions. We'll be back in 8 minutes for the second half, probably. Stick around. I mean, sometimes we don't come back from break, but...